All right, I'm going to show you another way. So the other planet explosion kind of looked like confetti. We're going to make it look cooler here in a little while, but this is an alternative way to kind of break things apart. So I am going to, first of all, select my planet, hit Edit, Delete by Type, History. Okay, that doesn't mean much. It basically just got rid of all the information from this mesh, like adding it, scaling it, positioning it. That way things will actually work. After that, I am in the Effects tab, and I can go to Effects, and I want to hit the Shatter Options box, little white box next to it. I'm going to reset this for you. And we want a solid shatter. Okay, not a surface shatter, solid shatter. I'm going to set my shard count. I would not recommend 100 or more than, like, let's say more than 20. I don't want anything to crash. You might be able to get away with it. And edge jagginess, just kind of increase this a little bit. And I want rigid bodies with collisions off. Okay, that looks great. Create. It's doing some thinking. Hopefully things don't crash on us. Give it a second. Okay, cool. Now, if I were to go to object mode and just select pieces, so I guess I forgot to delete the original. I don't need that piece. I have now chunks of my planet. Okay, so I've got the Neptune surface and then the inside. That's kind of cool. So I'm going to undo that and leave it there. So it is all chunked up. The next thing I'm going to do is just like before, I'm going to add a force, and we're going to use radial this time again. So I'm going to select all these pieces. Don't select the group here, but I can come in. This is my outliner, and hold down Shift. So I have this first one selected. Hold down Shift, select these pieces. Then I'm going to go to Fields and Solvers, and I'm going to hit radial. Okay, so I press it. Blammo! My chunks are flying apart. Doesn't really look like confetti anymore. It might actually look like chunks of a planet, which is pretty cool. But it doesn't line up with my asteroid. So, same thing. I want to select my radial field. Go to frame 1, change this magnitude to 0. Remember, I'm in my attribute editor. That is Control A to swap between channel box, attribute editor. Frame 1, magnitude 0. I'm going to do the same thing. I don't remember where it was. And then here, magnitude 0, hit S, and then maybe right about here it starts to come apart and hit S. Let's test it. So it happens too soon, so I'm going to highlight these. So hold down Shift on my timeline and left click and drag. And then when it's highlighted red, I'll use these inside arrows, not the outside arrows, to drag this direction and just play around with my timing. All right, that was not too bad. I feel like it needs to happen a hair sooner than that. So I always use this button, just go back to frame 1, hit play, there we go. That is pretty sweet. Let's adjust the inside of our mesh here, because it looks kind of dumb being yellow. So I'm going to select my piece, just any piece floating, and then I can go to my shatter interior. Okay, just like we added other textures, I could come in here and add a dirt texture if I wanted to, or more of a rocky texture. Let's just do like a rock texture. I guess in my mind I'm thinking of like just a gray, like that. That's cool. Sweet. You can expand these images, obviously, some of them, to get a higher resolution. This will work for this. Save it to my desktop. Okay, so I'm in my shatter interior color. hit the box, go to File, find my texture. Cool. So now it kind of has these cracks on the inside. Let's go to frame 1. Press play. Bam. All right, that is pretty cool. Now, notice how they just fly, and they kind of just fly straight. They're not rotating or anything. What if I wanted to adjust that? I'm going to select my pieces. Actually, let me take a look at my radial magnitude, special effects. Okay, so I'm going to select all my chunks, add another field, and this time I want some turbulence. So let's see what happens now. Okay, so I have my turbulence happening too soon. So I want to set something similar up. Frame 1 to 17, have nothing happen. And then after that, have the turbulence rocking. So I'm going to select my turbulence on frame 1. Change this to 0. Hit S. I'm going to go to frame 17. 0, hit S, and then whatever, 21, 22. Then let's say, all right, let's try 10. Hit S. So now, instead of these pieces flying straight out, maybe I'll get some variation. All right, not enough. So let me go to this last frame. 100, hit S. Let's try that. I didn't see a change. So I may have screwed something up. But let me crank this thing. Just make sure it's me and not the value. Okay, so it was the value, it wasn't me. Notice how now I've cranked this magnitude on the turbulence up so much that these fly and then they start rotating. They kind of start spinning. So turbulence is just this invisible force that does just that. It makes things kind of go around all crazy like. Adds turbulence. Blam. Which is cool. That looks a lot better.